Welcome back, Queens, to the Body Love Binge podcast. Side note, I've just recorded this for the first 10 minutes and then ended up choking, not literally choking, but kind of choking on some salted nuts I've just eaten. So I just thought I'd start again. So here we go. Welcome to today's episode, which I'm sure you know the title, How to Find Balanced Eating in Food Freedom. And this is based on Alina's question. So I'm going to read her question, then go into the in-depth episode to answer it. Alina says, I now feel like I don't restrict anymore, like I've done 2 to 3 years ago when I was deep in my eating disorder, the anorexia. Instead, I feel like I can't restrict anymore. And last time you told me that that is what I need to do, but now I would like to find balance, No restriction, but also not eating what I maybe don't want even to eat. I feel kind of uncomfortable at the moment, and I feel the fat in my face and on my body in general. I don't feel good with the way I eat right now, but I also don't want to restrict too much. How do I find this balance and at the same time don't eat everything in capital letters? How do I shift my focus from eating to different things so that I can eat more intuitively? I hope you understand my struggle. Thanks already. Best wishes, Alina. I completely understand your struggle. I'm going to start off with a one-liner, and this one-liner is food freedom and not caring about your health are not the same thing. And I'm going to explain why as we delve into this episode. I want to start off by saying, as I said, Alina, I completely understand your struggle. Like some, I lost the ability to restrict in any way at the end before I started full recovery. And that's actually a blessing in disguise because you have no choice but to honor what your body wants. It's a survival mechanism from your very smart body and your very smart nervous system. Think about it. You restricted and underfed yourself for however many years, which is extremely traumatic to the body. Your body didn't know you were restricting on purpose. It assumed you were in a famine because otherwise, why would you restrict from your body's perspective? It makes no sense to the body whose number one priority is survival. Even though you would most likely have been starting to restrict because you felt like restricting was necessary in order to survive or to cope mentally and emotionally or to fit in or whatever it was for you, it was your body. Your body doesn't care. Your body doesn't see that. Your body just sees we need to survive. There's not enough food in the environment, and it doesn't know how to care about the emotional and mental and traumatic side of why restriction started in the first place. And so since you've been eating unrestrictedly, your body is like, finally, we are living somewhere with enough food, but I don't know how long this will last for, because in the past, the main experience was famine. So we must keep getting enough food in case it happens again, which makes sense, right? You will continue to eat this way in the name of survival if your body doesn't feel safe that there is enough food in your physical environment or that there won't be enough food in the future. If you are judging what you're eating and wishing you weren't eating what you are currently eating, maybe you're thinking it's way too much. You've crossed the line of what's okay and what's not okay. Your body will take that as a fact that there is going to be a famine or less food in the very near future. Because the body is smart, it will eat more now to prepare for this upcoming famine that it thinks it's going to happen. This is biology, and biology is rooted in survival. This is also called emotional restriction. Now, you would have heard me speak about this before. There's a lot here with emotional restriction. I can see from the way you've asked your question, there is emotional restriction present for you, and I'm going to point them out to you so you can change it and become aware of it first before you can then change it. Number one, you say, quoting you, Alina, no restriction, but also not eating what I maybe don't even want to eat. You want what you need. And so at some level, you need the food you're currently eating in the way you're currently eating it. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it, or it would be easy to just choose not to do it. When you've eaten something you think you maybe didn't want to eat, I would like you to journal this. Okay, so journal, pen and paper, old style, it's the best way if you ask me. Typing can be beneficial, but it works best for me and my clients if they write it on an actual paper or in a journal. So journal this. I ate that even though I didn't think I wanted it because, and then from that journaling answer, you can see exactly what's going on. And if you were a client of mine, we would dive deep into the answer to your journal prompt together. Number 2 of Detective Victoria's find of your emotional restriction in your question, quote, I feel kind of uncomfortable at the moment and I feel the fat in my face and on my body in general. So being afraid of weight gain or not seeing weight gain as okay is actually emotional restriction. This is because what you're saying without actually saying the words is, I can't keep eating like this, or I must lose some weight, or I can't get any bigger. Those thought processes and the feelings that precede that thought process or those thought processes, they're signaling your body that there's an impending famine, most likely on its way. And remember how smart the body is. Remember how it is wired deeply for survival. What do you think it's going to do in response to that? It's going to eat more just in case, because your body doesn't care about your 6-pack goals or your clothes size goal or whatever it might be. Your body cares about your survival and it's biology. It's rooted in biology. What's needed here, so you can move past this, is deeper body image work, exploring what feeling comfortable in your body would look like to you. So my assumption is that feeling comfortable, hold on, let me backtrack. I've just read the same thing twice and it didn't make sense. My assumption is that you don't currently feel comfortable in your body because you're emotionally uncomfortable about the fat on your body. There is a difference between feeling physically uncomfortable and emotionally uncomfortable. So I want to ask you this and journal the answers to this for yourself. Why does it feel uncomfortable to have fat on your body and on your face? Does it feel physically uncomfortable? If so, how? Because it might do. I'm not saying that it doesn't, it might. Does it feel emotionally uncomfortable? If so, how and why? And again, if you were a client, we would dive deep into what comes up for you when you work on this and take time to answer this for yourself, and would work through this together, because there'll be many, many layers to this. And there's something we can do to support physical discomfort. There's a lot we can do to support emotional discomfort until it's not emotionally uncomfortable anymore. That's part of the work, right? So number 3 in Detective Victoria's emotional restriction findings, quote, I don't feel good with the way I eat right now, but I also don't want to restrict too much. Why don't you feel good about the way you eat right now? I'll talk about balance and nutrition next, but what exactly about the way you are currently eating is not good? I would say there's a lot of judgment there, and I'm curious as to what judgment and as to why. I don't want you to restrict at all ever again. It's not safe for any of us, actually, especially those with the genetics for an eating disorder. And choosing, let me back up because this is important, so let me get this right. Choosing is not the same as restricting, because restriction isn't an action, it's a state of mind. So let me talk about that. If you are restricting or thinking about restricting, then you're acting from the eating disorder. People who have a healthy relationship with food in their bodies don't restrict, they choose. This is important. You won't ever be able to safely restrict because restriction isn't safe for anyone. And that's a good thing. You will, however, be able to make choices that are in alignment with how you want to feel physically in your body if It's a big if. You have the right support to get you through this stage of recovery with what you're personally experiencing. And not many professionals know about this as in depth as I do. And this is really important. Number 4 of your emotional restriction. How do I find this balance and at the same time not eat everything? And eat everything is in capitals. So I just want to ask a cheeky little question here. I'm sure you don't eat everything because that would be practically impossible, right? The fact that you capitalized eat everything shows me clear as day that you have extreme judgment and lack of acceptance around what you're currently eating. No shit, Sherlock, right? I feel you. I was exactly the same way, really. Why is it not okay to eat everything? I know this may sound like a ridiculous question, but bear with me and really answer this. Take the time to journal this. Why is it not okay to eat everything? What does it mean if you do or did eat everything? These questions might seem pointless to answer, but trust me, as I said, grab your journal and a pen, take time to answer them. You'll discover a lot about yourself, and with a professional's help who actually knows what to look for, you'll be out of emotional restriction and into the land of choosing and true freedom before you know it. Number 5, emotional restriction, in what your question was, quote, how do I shift my focus from eating to different things so that I can eat more intuitively? Again, from this question, you're showing me that you're resisting what you're eating because you want to not focus on the food. And I get that. Of course, I get it. But whatever you resist, it persists. That's the law, one of the laws of the universe. When you fully accept, underlined when and only when you fully accept and surrender to whatever it is that you eat, however you eat it, you will then be able to focus on things other than food. You'll be able to move your focus away from food. Where am I? I would edit this out, but you guys know I don't do that. When you fully accept to surrender, whatever you eat, you will then be able to focus on things other than food. It's a catch-22 though. This is the thing, as I'm sure you're gathering this by now. You want to take your focus away from food, but by resisting your focus on food, you're creating more focus on food. It's like you can't stop binge eating by trying to stop binge eating. Like you can't stop smoking by trying to stop smoking, right? So you have to go at it another way. A better way of saying this is the famous quote by Albert Einstein: you cannot solve a problem with the same consciousness that created it. So how, I'm sure you're asking, how do I fully accept and surrender then? And I hear you, because we talk a lot about acceptance and surrender, and it's like, well, how the fuck do I do that, Victoria? Just tell me how. That, my love, it is a journey, right? It's a journey that we embark on together. I need to know you well. I need to work with you so I can see what's going on in your mind, in your heart, in your actions, and we work on this together. There is a great book. God, I've read loads of books on surrender. I'm going to kind of give you 3. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or Tolle, however you say his name, and The Art of Letting Go, The Wisdom of St. Francis. They're 3 great books to support you with this. Even better, get a coach if you're able to in any capacity that knows what they're doing. All right, so the ultimate question then, how to find balance with food and eat intuitively. Number 1, by letting go of all kinds of restriction, including emotional restriction. Number 2, by overcoming your fear of weight gain. Yes, that seems impossible, but it is 1,000% possible for you. I promise you. Honestly, I promise you. If I can get over my fear of weight gain, when I would rather have a family member die than me gain weight, or I would have rather died myself than gain weight, I was that petrified of weight gain. And now I have no fear of weight gain, and my clients work through this too. You can do this too. So number 3 is by connecting to yourself and your body in all ways. So physically, emotionally, spiritually. Number 4 is by loving yourself. So you want to actually take care of yourself and treat your body and yourself with love and kindness in all ways. Number 5, you do that by remembering, perhaps for the first time, how worthy and valuable you are just because you are alive and just because you are you. Number 6, by taking action to support balanced behaviors, which will feel like a breeze when you've worked on all of the above with someone who knows what they're doing. As you can see, finding balance with food, it's a journey. It's not a quick fix or something you can simply change only in your behaviors. It takes courage, support, and commitment to full food freedom and self-love to find authentic and easy balance with food. And each and every one of you can do it. I have zero doubt about that. So I just wanted to give you, to finish this podcast episode off, to wrap up, I wanted to give you a tangible example of what it looks like for me to be eating in balance, because I consider my health when eating day to day. I could not have I want to reiterate this, I could not have gotten to this place where I am now, balanced around food, nourishing myself and living in food freedom all at the same time, unless I had done the work to fully surrender, allow all the foods and go through all the steps that I've just shared with you. This was a journey that I am so grateful that I've been on. So I just want to quickly run through the 6 steps again. And again, there's more to each step, right? There's so much to each step. But step number 1, how to find balance with food, letting go of all kinds of restriction, especially including emotional restriction. Number 2, by overcoming your fear of weight gain. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Number 3, by connecting to yourself and your body in all ways, physically, emotionally, spiritually, building a relationship with your body. Number 4, by loving yourself, so you actually want to take care of yourself and treat yourself and your body well. Number 5, you do that by remembering, perhaps for the first time, how goddamn worthy you are just because you are you and just because you are alive. And number 6, by taking action to support balanced behaviors, which will feel like a breeze when you've worked on all the above, and if you can get support from someone who knows what they're doing. So going back to me and my food choices day to day then, I make my food choices primarily from nourishment and pleasure. I'll give you some examples. If there's a green shake that's proven to be the healthiest thing in the world and it tastes like shit, I'm not going to drink it. I'll add butter, cheese, and oils and sauces on veggies and salads to make them taste good. If there's a chocolate brownie with ice cream on a dessert menu, as an example, that doesn't come with fruit, I might order some fruit as an extra to add extra nutrients, or I might not. If I've had fries, chips, and those of you who are not British, this is why I've said fries and not chips. Chips are fries and crisps are chips to American people and Dutch people. Either way, if I've had fries already this week and I'm not that bothered about them anymore, I might swap my fries for a side of veggies if I feel like it. Unless I don't feel like it, then I won't. I usually ask for a salad with a toasty if it doesn't come with a salad standard. If I fancy some ice cream, but I know I'm going to go out for a meal this weekend, I might wait until then to really look forward to having the ice cream. Or I might not, if I don't want to wait. I'll add as many veggies in as possible when I'm cooking all the time, because veggies are good for me in so many ways and I enjoy the benefits of eating them. Also, we're very lucky around here. We pay so much per week to be a part of, I call it the Garden of Eden. It's like this huge allotment thing. And so every Saturday, you might have seen on my stories, I share sometimes, we go and pick our own vegetables and we get so much. Like this week alone, we've got broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, broad beans, purple pea things, cole, is it called cole? Chard, Chinese cabbage, normal cabbage, spring onion, kohlrabi, carrots, just this week. So as you can imagine, we are eating a lot of veggies and it tastes so good. As an example, last night, this is all completely made up by Victoria. This, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Kohlrabi, I didn't even know what that was until I picked it. It comes out the soil. It looks like a kind of a swede type thing. I'm not sure if it's part of the swede family. It might be. So I sliced kohlrabi, fresh carrots, sliced them, boiled them for about 8 minutes in boiling water. Then I fried in a frying pan grass-fed mincemeat, spring onion, and chard. Is it called chard? Like the green, you pick the leaves and some of the leaves are bright orange and bright red and then green. Like I think that's called chard. I'm trying to think of the Dutch word, which doesn't matter because I don't have that many Dutch listeners, but I think it's gone. It's gone out of my head, the Dutch word for it. Anyway, I fried them all together and then I like layered it up. When they were all cooked, I layered it up in like a pan. So I put a layer of the kohlrabi and carrots, a layer of creme fraiche, a layer of cheese, a layer of the mince. Repeat, and then a bit of cheese on top in the oven for half an hour. Oh my God, it was so good. That's just an example of loads of veggies that taste so good because of all the cheese and the creme fraiche, and the veggies actually taste good themselves as well with the meat and all of that, and the garlic. I forgot to say garlic. That's very important. I love garlic. So anyway, I digress. Let me go back to what I was saying. I add veggies in as much as possible all the time, but they have to taste good. I will not swap real pizza bases or rice for cauliflower alternatives because they taste like shit in my opinion. I'll pay more for high quality ice cream, biscuits, cookies, chocolates because taste and quality is really important to me and I'm privileged enough to be able to do that. So as you can see, I'm all about pleasure and nourishment, adding things in, choosing not to restrict, choosing instead of restricting, and feeling good in my body. That's important to me. It's easy and natural for me to eat this way. Really easy, really natural. And it's so possible for you. But the thing is, you cannot jump from restriction, binge eating, bulimia, whichever cycle you're in, or whether you're not in a cycle, whether you're in pure restriction, you can't jump from that straight to, oh, I'm just going to choose to be healthy, because allowance creates space for choice. That's the thing. And you have to go through and do the deeper work. Like my Real Recovery Roadmap has 5 pillars to it. Inner child work, trauma healing, repairing your relationship with food, body image work, self-love work, all of that holistically encompassed together creates the deep, lasting change and transformation to live in complete food freedom, body love, and self-love. And that's what I absolutely love to do. So if you would like support on this journey, there's 2 different ways you can work with me. I have my group coaching, which is literally €47 a month and you can cancel anytime. I'll pop the links below so you can read more about it. Or I have my one-to-one coaching, different packages. It starts from €2,000, depending on the type of support you need, and it goes up to 4,000, and a year program is 10,000. So there's a broad spectrum of different ways and investment options to work with me one-to-one. And don't suffer alone. If you can make it work, whether it's the group, whether it's one-to-one, whether it's just continuing listening to these podcasts and YouTube and doing the work yourself and joining my free support group, you are worth the effort and support to get where you need to be. So thank you so much for being here as always. And if you haven't yet rated my podcast 5 stars, please go ahead and do that and leave a review. It really, really helps. And if you're on YouTube, then what is it? You give the like, subscribe, notifications, all of that jazz. That helps more people find me as well. All right, my queens, much love, and I will see you on next week's episode. Mwah.